Today, we have some exciting new updates regarding the X-Men. One character that has reportedly been cast as someone many might not have expected to take center stage so soon in Marvel's new X-Men reboot. Additionally, it appears we now understand why Marvel chose not to mention the new X-Men at SDCC. They are still in the process of casting. I previously stated that if they secured the cast before SDCC, they would announce something related to the X-Men. However, it's evident that they did not achieve that and are currently in the midst of casting. In fact, Deadline reports that they have cast a character who has been their primary focus for much of the summer. So, let's delve into this new X-Men news. This information comes from Deadline, and the headline reads, X-Men Samara Weaving lands role of Emma Frost in upcoming Marvel Studios film. This article is quite revealing, so let's examine it closely. It states exclusive, although there was no mention of the X-Men during Comic-Con's Hall H. This past weekend, Marvel Studios seems to be making progress in assembling its team of mutants. Sources informed Deadline that Samara Weaving has been selected to portray Emma Frost in the forthcoming X-Men movie. After meeting with several candidates, director Jake Schreier and Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige decided on Weaving earlier this week for the role. The most active casting process has revolved around who will portray the new team of mutants in Marvel Studios' film. Throughout the summer, Schreier and Marvel executives have been meeting with and auditioning actors for various roles. With the search for the character of Frost being the most extensive among the new cast members, they were truly dedicated to finding the perfect Emma Frost. This is quite intriguing because she has a rich history to explore. I'm really curious about the timeline for her casting. At what point are they planning to introduce Emma Frost? What character arc or storyline will she be part of? Will it relate to the Hellfire Club, or will she take on a role as a teacher? Is this set after Generation X? There's a lot of history to consider here. Will they skip over some parts? Will she start off as a villain, or will she be portrayed as a hero and educator? That remains uncertain. However, it's clear that Marvel Studios has significant plans for Emma Frost. Now let's wrap this up. The final list of actors auditioned for the role was finalized shortly after July 4th. Ultimately, Weaving's audition was unbeatable and she secured the role earlier this week. Frost is a telepathic mutant who first appeared in X-Men comics in the 1980s and has transformed from a supervillain to a vital member of the X-Men over the years. On the film front, she was last portrayed by January Jones in X-Men First Class and X-Men Days of Future Past. This latest news is sure to thrill fans of the franchise who have been eagerly awaiting a new movie since Disney acquired 20th Century Fox and its library in 2019. Indeed, many of us have been longing for a new X-Men team. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this casting. And about Weaving, she has those striking blue eyes that are essential for Emma Frost. She has the right hair and overall look. I initially thought Sydney Sweeney would be a good fit, but I genuinely love this casting decision. I believe she embodies the character perfectly. As I mentioned earlier, my main curiosity lies in the timeline of Emma Frost's history within the comics. Where exactly will they choose to integrate her? Will she become a pivotal member of the X-Men, or perhaps take on the role of the Queen of the Hellfire Club? I'm eager to find out, especially since it's evident that they have significant plans for her as a central character. This is exciting because, initially, we were led to believe that the focus would primarily be on the First Class. I agree with that approach. It makes sense, but it doesn't mean they can't expand beyond just the original members. Characters like Jean Grey, Scott, Cyclops, Angel, Beast, and Iceman can certainly be included, but I hope they also introduce a few additional characters to spotlight. I'm also curious if Emma will be portrayed as a villain in the first installment. We've heard mentions of Mr. Sinister and the potential build-up to Apocalypse. There are numerous storylines they could explore, and I'm looking forward to discussing the future of the X-Men as more details emerge. Additionally, we have some breaking news while I was making this video. It appears that Marvel Studios has officially cast Cyclops for the new X-Men reboot in the MCU. Additionally, there's an intriguing rumor about the potential actor for Magneto, which I find quite exciting. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Kit Connor reportedly being cast as Cyclops, as mentioned by Deadline. According to the information we have, which we'll discuss from the Deadline article titled X-Men Kit Connor Aid, for Cyclops' role in upcoming Marvel Studios film, it seems that the decision has been made. This suggests that it's nearly finalized. According to the Deadline report, following the news that Samara Weaving is being considered for the role of Emma Frost in the upcoming X-Men movie, it seems Marvel Studios has found its Scott Summers. Sources have informed Deadline that Kit Connor has been selected to portray the mutant Cyclops. In a manner similar to the previous casting process, where director Jake Schreier and Marvel president Kevin Feige met with various candidates, sources indicate that the studios finalized their choice on Connor last week, making him the latest actor to don the Cyclops visor. Neither Marvel nor Connor's representatives were available for comment regarding the casting. While the James Bond franchise has captured everyone's attention this summer, the most active casting discussions have revolved around who will portray the new team of mutants. After several meetings and auditions over the past couple of months, sources report that a select group of actors tested for the role following the July 4th holiday. Cyclops has been a foundational character in the X-Men comics, first introduced in 1963 by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. He has consistently been viewed as the leader of the mutant team, recognized for the powerful energy beams that he emits from his eyes, which he controls using a visor and various sunglasses. The character has previously been portrayed by James Marsden and Ty Sheridan. So what are your thoughts on this casting? Personally, I haven't seen much of his work to comment on his acting abilities. I'm curious about your opinion. Do you think he would look good alongside Sadie Sink? Is he a talented actor in your view? If you're familiar with him, please share your thoughts. On another note, I really like the casting of Samara Weaving as Emma Frost. I believe that is an excellent choice. I'm eager to know your opinion, especially since we've learned that Cyclops is set to be a central character in the new X-Men team, particularly alongside Jean Grey. Essentially, the Summers family will be at the forefront of the new X-Men narrative in the MCU, which is a logical choice given that the new X-Men are already being introduced. I believe this was executed quite well, showcasing one of the most beloved mutants. Now, we have a casting for the character who will eventually stand beside her. What are your thoughts on Kit Connor? I haven't seen much of his work, but I know he stars in a show called Heartstopper alongside the actor who portrays Billy Wiccan from Agatha All Along, who is the Scarlet Witch's son. So he has a connection to Marvel. What do you think about his appearance? I've asked some fans for their opinions and we'll review their feedback. Let's also explore the latest rumors regarding the entire cast. We've certainly heard a lot of rumors lately, and while we have some confirmed X-Men, I want to focus on a particular rumor regarding Magneto, as I think it would be quite impactful. Initially, it was reported that Adam Driver might take on the role of Magneto, but there seems to have been some confusion regarding his involvement. Although it's not officially confirmed, it appears he may be taking on the role of Mr. Sinister, which I believe would suit Adam Driver much better. While I think he could have portrayed Magneto excellently, the current rumor suggests that Jensen Ackles from The Boys is being considered for that role. I must say, I love this idea, because I think he is outstanding. He would make a fantastic Magneto. He might be a bit younger than expected, but it seems they are aiming for a younger cast than we are accustomed to. Of course, if we exclude the X-Men films in between, those characters are indeed younger than Charles Xavier, played by Patrick Stewart, and Magneto, portrayed by Sir Ian McKellen. However, he would likely be around the same age as Fassbender, right? I genuinely like this direction. I believe he would excel in the role. Many people will discuss Cyclops, but I truly think Jensen Ackles possesses the presence to embody Magneto. I really do. Additionally, we have some news from Apoc Horseman, a trusted insider, who reports that Charles Melton has been cast as Beast. I must say, he's one of the names that have circulated, and I've always found this casting appealing. He's a talented actor, and I believe he has a fitting look for the role of Beast. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. At 35 years old, he is on the older side, which aligns with Beast's character, who is typically portrayed as more mature. He is often regarded as one of the smartest individuals in the X-Men universe, especially when we consider Kelsey Grammer's portrayal of Beast in Avengers Doomsday. In this universe, he should definitely be the intelligent one as well. I really appreciate this casting decision. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it in the comments. This aligns more with the First Class, which I genuinely enjoy. Now regarding the next casting, I'm uncertain how fans will react since many were hoping for Margaret Qualley to play Rogue. However, according to Apoc Horseman, Kay Spaney has been selected for the role of Rogue. I must say, this side-by-side image looks great to me. I really like this casting choice. If you scroll down a bit, there's even an AI-generated image of her that looks impressive. Both actors are seasoned professionals with extensive experience. Charles Melton appeared in Beef and Riverdale, though I'm not sure if that's where he gained most of his fame. As for Kaylee Spaney, I'm less acquainted with her work, but I've seen some of her performances in Alien Romulus, Civil War, Pacific Rim, and Tail. I believe Marvel is onto something here. These actors possess both the looks and the necessary acting skills, which is crucial. While looks are important, if they lack acting ability, it can ruin the entire project. Bill Skarsgård seems to be the frontrunner for Professor X at the moment, although there are a few other contenders in the mix. As mentioned, Adam Driver is rumored to be Mr. Sinister. Indy Navarrete was initially considered for Rogue, but it appears she is still being considered for Mystique, which could be quite exciting. And now, a spoiler alert for Spider-Man Brand New Day. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll give you a moment to step away, even though we've already touched on it. 1, 2, 3. Jean Grey is indeed the character. So, Sadie Sink is next to Kit Connor. What do you think? Does that look appealing to you? I also believe that Marvel likely has a significant portion of the new X-Men cast already in place. They might be planning to unveil the cast at D23. We'll have to wait and see. They might not make an official announcement until next year. It's quite likely they want to reserve it for the upcoming San Diego Comic-Con. They could plan something significant, like revealing the X-Men cast, since they can't disclose too much about Secret Wars. However, we know that the focus will be on Secret Wars. The only major releases next year will revolve around Secret Wars, as we will be in the gap between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Following that, the X-Men movie is expected to be the next release. Kevin Feige explicitly mentioned this, listing Spider-Man, Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars, and the X-Men. I believe he was being straightforward, but we will have to wait and see. At D23, they might announce the X-Men movie, its release date, and some cast members. We will stay vigilant and attentive. If we catch any news, we will provide an update.